After the spring and playing under Seth Diggy's offense, why do you think this system is maybe better for your skill style?
Because of Coach Deggy. It's as simple as that. I've said it many times, and I think he's probably the best offensive coordinator, best person I've ever been around. So I'm extremely excited for him as a play caller, but more importantly as a leader. His leadership skills are second to none. What he's been able to do with this offense in 15 practices in terms of execution, mentality, and belief, I've never seen it before. So we're going to follow him to the ends of the earth.
Dalton, where do you think the defense has made the most progress over the course of these 15 practices?
Yeah, I would definitely say our front seven. That was definitely a piece we wanted to grow. And I think they understood the task that was at hand, and that was to go to work. I believe games are won in the trenches. So, we had to build our trenches up, and I think they've done a great spring. And, yeah, the back end, relies on our trench boys. So we're very grateful for them and glad that they, showed up this spring and just continue growing.
And kind of going off of that, what do you think is going to be the identity of this defense?
Don't let people score. Don't let them run the ball. Simple as that. We love red line. That's kind of our team mantra. We're going to fly around. We're going to hit you. And, we got to have this aggressive attitude. So, yeah.
Question for Noah, two questions there. Earlier in camp, you had mentioned that you were still kind of getting used to the pace and being more vocal and all that. Now that camp is over, how do you think you've made progress in those areas?
Yeah, I think offensively as a whole, we've taken a big step forward in terms of self-talk, in terms of leadership, more on the vocal side that I think we struggled in the winter. Obviously, there's definitely more room for improvement. You can never be content, but like I said, I think Coach Deggy was able to help us in that identity aspect of it, and we look forward to continuing to build that culture, build that belief throughout the summer.
And then I know the wide receiver room as a whole is talented, but Chris Hudson, what does he mean to that group, and just your connection?
Yeah, like you said, the receiver room is very special, and you give Coach Deggy and Coach Bobby Wade a lot of credit for that. But like you said, Chris Hudson had a fantastic spring, and he just kind of brings a veteran mindset, also a swagger and a moxie into that room that is very helpful because every time he's one-on-one, he's going to win, and as a quarterback, it's easy because if you get one-on-one to his side that you can trust him, a back shoulder or over the top, he's going to go make the play. So his competitive nature, his competitive greatness is second to none.
First question for both, and then I have one specifically for Noah. But for both of you guys, the transfer portal has a spring window, and it's just something that seems like kind of a constant presence in college football, something that people are always talking about. As players, how do you just kind of deal with that?
Yeah, I would just say try and keep your guys connected. We talk about our bear down brotherhood all the time. And that's just something that has to come into effect, try to hang out outside of football and just try to, pick each other's brains on that, if they're not liking it here or what the case may be. But, just try and, I guess, show them love as much as you can and let them understand that this is the right place to be. But at the end of the day, it's a personal decision. But, yeah, I would just say just be brothers,
Yeah, I think that's the nature of college football now, and we were just having that conversation that it seems like it's an ongoing thing. But at the end of the day, just make sure everybody knows that they're loved and that they're wanted here, and make sure everybody knows that they can be themselves, and that we have all the pieces in this room right now to do everything that we want to do. So we made sure that point got across throughout the week, and we'll continue to hammer that all the way through.
And then for Noah specifically, how would you assess your progress in this offense in terms of learning the plays and then taking that out onto the field and processing what you're seeing, where you're supposed to go with the ball, et cetera?
Yeah, this offense is so great because there's so many answers to it, and it's on our position to make Coach Deggy right at times. So he gives us a lot of freedom to be able to get in and out of calls or make different checks and audibles to certain receivers. Just to kind of put us in the best position to succeed. So the trust that he has in me and in our quarterback group is really special. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to make him right. So we're starting to get more comfortable being able to play faster, being able to get to the line faster and operate all of that according to Coach Deggy's standard. And like I said, there's a lot of room for improvement, but being able to just kind of respond and react quickly and really set the pace, that's what we want our identity to be.
Question for both. What was it like interacting with the fans and just kind of seeing the whole setup of today?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Everyone was excited. And, we love our fans, love Tucson, love the community, and just any way we can, support them, because they support us all the time. I'm happy to do it. And just, running out there like it was game day, but you actually get to high five the little kids and see them so excited. That's just something you live for those moments, So, I just want to give a shout out to our fans, ups and downs, we're always going to give it our all, and I just know they're going to be there at the end of the day. So, thank you to our fans.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. I think our athletic department did a fantastic job kind of having that vision and bringing it to fruition. So like Dalton said, we appreciate all the fans coming out and supporting us, showing all the love. But that's at the end of the day, that's what we live for, especially the little kids. So we had a great time. And like I said before, we look forward to making up for what we need to make up for. So our fans, we got y'all.
And looking ahead to this upcoming week, Noah, how do you just kind of, forecast just the significance of T-Mac getting drafted and just kind of the next chapter that he's about to enter?
This is a very special week for us, and especially for T and his family. This is something that he's been worked his whole life for, and God gave him so many talents. But at the end of the day, he did so much work to be able to put himself in this situation. So we know that whatever franchise chooses him is going to be incredibly lucky, and I look forward to watching him do what he's done his whole life.
Danny Gonzalez was on the staff last year, but just can you talk about how the defense has changed from last year to this year, and kind of your favorite parts or what adjustments that you've liked so far?
Yeah, I would. Last year I got moved to linebacker, maybe like 7 games in. So I was in Coach G's room, and I would say that was definitely the time I got to really get close and understand who he was as not just a coach, but as a person and as a father. And then once he got the DC job, I already knew what type of guy he was. So I was super excited about that, and he just brings this this energy and just this mindset that you just have to have as a defense. And so he's really trying to instill that into our heads, and I think he's doing a great job. Learning his defense has been fun this spring, and trying to adapt myself in it. But I'm very thankful for Coach G. Like I said, he's a great guy, a great father, a great husband, and he's teaching us how to be more than just football players and just great young men in life. So, happy to have him as my coach and as my defense coordinator.
Do you think there are any specifics that have changed from last year to this year?
I would just say the mindset, obviously a new defensive scheme, but just building that mindset in the defensive room. And understanding, like I mentioned earlier, our trenches, our D-line was something we needed to improve, and he went after it, and I'm thankful for that. And as well, we have work to do in the back end, but I really say that mindset was the main thing.
Justin, another question for both. On your guys' side of the ball, who would you say was that one guy that maybe was the most improved or really made the most strides in spring?
I'm gonna say either Deshaun McKnight or Tay Brown. Deshaun because he's a transfer that came in and he's a new guy, but really proved himself. I think he's a great player and he's a good teammate too. Definitely stepping into his voice and his role on the D line as a leader. And then I would say Tay Brown. Tay's been here for I think 2 years, but just kind of been a young guy, but Tay's just the type of guy that's going to show up and he's going to go, 100 miles per hour, 100% of the time, and just, give you that effort and just go all out, and you can count on him to do the right thing. So I would say Deshaun and Tay.
Yeah, I think it's hard on offense to really shout out, kind of single somebody out, but I think Nunu Watley, what he's been able to do this spring, day in and day out on a consistent basis. He had a fantastic spring, and he's brought that explosiveness, and whether it's running by somebody who's flat-footed or catching something short and making somebody miss, he's going to be a real weapon, and I don't think college football is ready for Nunu Watley. And then I want to shout out Kaina DeCambra because he came in as a tackle, and he kind of told me when he first got here that he could play any position, and that's what he did. He played guard at times. He played center for the last week or so. So that's someone that's just a Swiss Army knife on our O-line who his mindset, his mentality, and his vocal leadership throughout the last couple of weeks has been fantastic.
Sorry, kind of going off what Noah said. I think you were matched up with Nunu finals this spring. What was that like?
Yeah, it's tough. He's quick and he's twitchy, but I mean, I love it because we just make each other better. But yeah, he's a great receiver. There was times where I'd be in perfect position and somehow he's catching the ball. So yeah, he competes and he's a great athlete and a good receiver. Yeah.
Last one with Michael.
Dalton, what was that competition you guys were doing in the middle of practice with the hoops and stepping over the pads and all that?
Yeah, Coach G threw that on us today. First time we did that. I guess it was a spring showcase competition, but yeah, we love to compete, and we got to see who was athletic or not. So yeah, it was fun.
Anyone surprise you?
Actually, Isaiah Johnson. I didn't think he could jump that high, but he did. He got up there. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.